Yes, the North London Derby, Sunday, 4:30. Crook and I will be there for Game Day Live. 3 weeks ago, this was a guaranteed Arsenal win. Not so sure now, given the form and Spurs' new manager, Crookmeister. What about the Apple boy? Is he going to settle in and take a big bite out of Arsenal's title hunt?
Listen, he's got history, hasn't he, of coming into clubs towards the end of a season, getting an uplift, getting some positive results. That's obviously why Tottenham are attracted to him. I thought it was really interesting that the names in the frame for this interim job weren't Premier League experience. You had Marco Rose, obviously at Borussia Dortmund and Leipzig. You had Edin Terzic as well, the former Dortmund manager, and obviously they ended up going with Igor Tudor. So I'd like to
I suppose
know that.
Edin Terzic probably has got Premier League
Yeah,
experience on the basis that he was
as
the
a
assistant
coach.
manager
Yeah,
at West Ham for one.
but the fact they weren't going for a former Premier League manager, I think is really interesting. Maybe it suggests there's not actually that bigger pool to choose from when it comes to managers who have taken charge in the Premier League. Southampton hired Ivan Juric for the same reason, and that turned out to be an absolute disaster. Listen, I'm not saying Tudor is going to be Juric 2.0, but I do think it's a risky appointment. I do think it's a risky appointment. I think I'd have been more confident for Spurs if they'd have got Harry Redknapp out of retirement. I really do, and that may sound really simplistic, but I think he would have come in, given the dressing room a lift. His man management skills, I think, would have been able to nurse them out of this situation. I don't know if Igor Tudor can do that in the Premier League.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
sure
the
Tottenham
first
do either.
thing the first thing is that you did say actually on Monday's podcast, this has got Ivan Juric vibes about it. So when you say, I'm not saying it's the same thing, you basically have already done that. And the Igor Tudor thing, is that because, and this is not me to be disrespectful, I'm just asking the question, is that because you don't know who he is? So your frame of reference is not there? Because ultimately he has had an impact at big clubs on short-term basis
Yeah,
before. So his CV suggests that actually this is the perfect role for him. He might not be a long-term manager.
it's a
He's a
different
bit of
beast,
a
though, Sam.
firefighter.
The Premier League is a different beast, and Tottenham are a strange football club. And again, this is
Mm.
going to sound like I'm having a dig at the supporters. I'm not, but I do think their fans have unrealistic expectations when you look at the history in modern times of Tottenham. So this guy is going to have to hit the ground running. He's going to have to win games, and he's going to have to play a certain brand of football.
Not easy to do when you've got 15 players unavailable and only really 11 senior pros that can play this week. Now, I heard this thing this week. Apparently, Xavi Simons is being lauded by the Spurs fans for turning down a 5-day holiday so that he could work to get even better.
You've
They
been
should
reading my
all be
notebook.
turning down a 5-day holiday to get better. Everybody, no one should be going on holiday.
They
Everybody
shouldn't
should
be on
be
holiday in the first place. Who
exactly.
loses a
Everybody should
game,
be
gets the
bunkering
manager
down.
fired, and gets 5 days off? I
It's
know for a fact a
unreal.
couple of the players have jetted out to Dubai to get a bit of winter sun. It's unbelievable.
Crikey. I
Okay.
mean, because Scott's going to tell us now that everyone deserves a holiday and that football as well, it's not fair that they shouldn't get one mid-season. Crookie has one. But at
I
the end of
don't
the
actually.
day, what message does it send to the Tottenham fans? Oh, by the way, we've got the manager sacked and now we're going off to Dubai for a
No,
jolly.
that's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is, I think if Thomas Frank was in charge, I think sometimes just getting away from all the noise and trying to reset mentally, I think is not a bad thing to do. I know.
Together in a camp, yeah.
Well, I know. Yeah, together, I think whether it's playing football, whether it's not, you play a little bit of football, but just to get away from it. If you've got Thomas Frank as your manager, now you've got a new manager in. And the style that he plays is very front foot, and Spurs fans should like it. I mean, I am with Crookie that I said I felt that the one biggest thing that the Spurs hierarchy need to do is to turn the fans back on their side with the poor home form. And I think it's as ridiculous as it sounds, an appointment of a Harry Redknapp or Glenn Hoddle. just immediately does that. So there's no new manager bounce with Igor Tudor, or no new manager good feel factor with Igor Tudor, the appointment of him. But what he does do, and he showed good football at Verona and Marseille. He did well at Juve and Lazio as well. He wants to be front foot, but it's physically demanding. So if you got 5 days off doing nothing, sitting by the pool, when actually you should be running and getting fitter, if he believes that you're not fit enough, you're getting paid a lot of money to be a professional footballer. I don't care whether it's Premier League or League Two. When you're down there, you need to do whatever is right. Sometimes a difficult decision might just be a get away from it mentally. But actually, in this particular instance, with a new manager, he needs as many days as possible and as much time on the grass.
And it sends a message to the supporters that we've messed up. We really care. We are going to sort this out. You know, not we're going to go on holiday and come back and we'll sort it out when we get back kind of vibe, which is not what the supporters want to hear. They're already annoyed anyway. The idea of the front-footed football sounds brilliant. You have to be fit to play in it. Sounds great. Not great if you've only got 4 players, which Spurs seem to only ever have because everyone gets injured anyway. So the idea of playing even more intense football, I'm not entirely sure this is a great recipe for success, Crook.
Let's see, though. Let's see how quickly some of those injured players get fit now that Thomas Frank isn't the manager anymore. Not that I'm a cynic.
So you are the world's biggest cynic. Okay, so this is a must-win for Arsenal now, Scott, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And you're sort of thinking, is it a good game for Arsenal? Is it a bad game? Is it a good game for Spurs? Is it a bad game? We know what happened with Mickey Carrick with his first game and how well they did against Manchester City. But, you know, both these teams can't win. Look, it's a massive game for both. Let's look, you know, we're the highlight, obviously, especially with what happened with Wolves, is Arsenal, and they've got to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and win. Tottenham have to win. This is a massive game for them. If they lose and other teams win around them, they are right in the doo-doo. So this is just a game I'm going to buy as much popcorn as I can, sit on the sofa and just enjoy.
I'm going to have some of that. Those at Spurs, they do this like chicken and waffle fries. It's really quite tasty. I'm going to just sit there with a big bowl of that and just watch and, you know, just enjoy. It's going to be great. Me and Crook are going to have a great time. Although Crook has vowed to wear a baseball cap because he's scared of the Tottenham fans. He might be scared of the Arsenal fans now as well.